If you will be at the NBA All-Star Game on Friday, let me know. A quick trip for me for the NBA's Tech Summit. Love to see you if you're there. Today, Wednesday, get ready for a lot of promotion across NBC. For the Winter Games from Milan Cortina, you will see a 1-year-out marketing plan throughout Wednesday, highlighting the Winter Olympics opening in just 360 days. And this is your morning Buzzcast for Wednesday, February 12th. Good morning. I'm Abe Madkour. The Chicago Bears said goodbye on Tuesday to longtime team owner Virginia Hallis McCaskey. She died last week at 102 years old. There was a visitation in her hometown of Des Plaines, Illinois, and a private funeral will be held over the next few days. What a story she is, as she served as Bears owner since 1983 after the death of her father, Bears founder George Hallis. I've read a number of columns and obituaries, and it's truly a fantastic story of someone who grew up in and around football. And boy, did she love the game. She loved the NFL. She certainly loved the Bears. Her death does raise questions about the future of the franchise. Will the family want to stay in the game? And what does this mean for the Bears' pursuit of a new stadium? I find the Chicago Bears to be one of the most interesting stories in the NFL. Let's move on. The NHL introduces a new concept starting Wednesday night, as players will represent their country in the Four Nations Face-Off. Remember, NHL players haven't represented their countries in the Olympics since 2014. They haven't taken part in any global competition since the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. Yes, the league will return to the Olympics next year after not going in 2018 or 2022, but this Four Nations Face-Off will serve as a warm-up as NHL players from the U.S., Canada, Finland, and Sweden compete in their national team jerseys over the next week. The competition will run through next Thursday, February 20th. So the first 4 round-robin games will be played at Montreal's Bell Center. The final 2 round-robin games and the championship played at Boston's TD Garden. So the league and the Players Association strategically sought very hockey-friendly markets. The games will be seen across TNT, ESPN, and ABC. So here's what I like about it. It was done collaboratively. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman and PA Executive Director Marty Walsh both wanted to return to international competition, and their strong relationship led to this agreement. It's a test to build interest in international play. It takes the place of this year's All-Star Weekend, which needed a change. And so this is a good mid-season tournament, short, quick, a showcase for players from these 4 countries. No, it's not perfect. The limited nature of the tournament left many of the world's best players not playing and upset that they weren't playing. But the NHL will look to build from this. They've sold a number of sponsorships around the event. They've sold jersey and helmet sponsors for each nation. We will certainly monitor ticket sales. For many games, only a limited amount of tickets were left, and then we'll see if they're building a television audience and building any buzz. But this new concept begins tonight as the Four Nations Face-Off begins in Montreal. Shifting to golf, one of the longest-running partnerships in the game is over, as TaylorMade and Dustin Johnson have ended their relationship after 18 years. Now, DJ first signed with TaylorMade when he turned professional in 2007, and he was one of its most high-profile endorsers. He's won 24 PGA Tour titles, 2 majors. The partnership was extended twice. He continued to play TaylorMade clubs. He wore TaylorMade apparel. But now the relationship is ending. And this comes after Johnson ended his 15-year relationship with Adidas, which he also signed when he turned pro. So why does this happen? What does this mean? Well, we know live golfers like DJ got a lot of money. And if I'm a brand and I'm seeing paltry live numbers and exposure, you're likely to say, why don't we put all this money someplace else if we're not getting the return on this investment? I believe that was the case here with Dustin Johnson and TaylorMade ending their relationship after 18 years. Shifting to the NBA, I said keep an eye on this deal in the Twin Cities. And if Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez do receive approval of the NBA Board of Governors to take over the T-Wolves and the Lynx, it will mark a dramatic new course for those organizations. Let's just say that previous owner Glenn Taylor ran his organizations a certain way, and there will be a far more aggressive commercial approach under Lowry and A-Rod. A local columnist wrote that the teams have traded safety for excitement, but it's also been known that employees within the building, those who work for the Timberwolves and Lynx, had hoped that Glenn Taylor would retain ownership because they trusted Taylor, and many are uncertain of the path of A-Rod and Lowry. I thought the columnist put the right formula in place. Quote, keep the team in Minnesota, pursue a new arena with class, balance aggression and intelligence, and prove it's not about ego. Those were the tenets offered by one local columnist for A-Rod and Lowry as they look to take over the Lynx and the T-Wolves. Shifting to some news from the college ranks, the athletic director opening at SMU, one to watch. A lot of big names are being bandied about. One name that took himself out of the mix, University of Texas athletic director Chris Del Conte. So why was he even in the mix? Well, we know that former Texas President Jay Hartzell left Texas and went to SMU. SMU's athletic director Rick Hart surprisingly stepped down last week, and many thought Del Conte would follow Hartzell to SMU. But that's not to be the case. The job at SMU is a good job. There are a lot of big donors, but a lot of cooks in the kitchen. So we'll have to see what shakes out at SMU. Chris Del Conte no longer seen as a candidate to go from Texas to SMU and follow his former president. Among the names being bandied about, Texas Tech athletic director Kirby Hocutt and Arkansas athletic director Hunter Yurachek. Let's stay on campus. Don't expect the big house at Michigan to start putting advertising in its football stadium. This comes after the athletic department sent a survey to fans asking for feedback about the concept of advertising. The school later said there are no plans to commercialize the venue, even though it would mean tens of millions of dollars in revenue to the school. Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel said he surveyed the fans to get a sense of their sentiment. And if they don't do in-venue advertising, they're going to have to look at other revenue streams to draw on to increase revenue because it's critical right now. Here's an example. Oregon State, they are adding a $3 student-athlete enrichment fee to each football ticket and parking pass for the 25 season. So yes, they are assessing a student fee, and money from the fee will go towards the school's revenue sharing plan with athletes that is expected to begin in July. So this fee is also included on tickets to all of Oregon State's home sporting events. It could raise north of $1 million. And of course, all schools are looking to raise several $1 million that will go towards revenue sharing. But at the bottom line, who's paying a little bit extra? Yes, the fans and the students, in this case, paying an extra student fee to help fund the school's revenue sharing. More and more markets are interested in the WNBA. My home city of Charlotte wants to be back in the W. There's a local family involved. The Hornets are also part of the bid. Remember, Charlotte was one of 8 original franchises. The Sting folded after the 2006 season. They really struggled financially and with their fan support. But remember, Charlotte's not alone. A group that includes former Bucks owner Mark Lazary and Kevin Durant officially submitted a bid to land a W team in Austin, Texas. They have big plans, a new practice facility, and they would look to play home games at Moody Center on the University of Texas's campus. So we have talked about this on the Buzzcast. The interest in the W very strong. They've received more than 10 bids for this expansion team. Detroit, Nashville, Philadelphia, Houston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Kansas City, St. Louis. Now we mentioned Charlotte and Austin. Remember, 3 new teams will tip off over the next couple of years. Golden State, they start in 25. Toronto and a Portland team start in 2026. 1 slot remaining and a lot of interest. Let's end with a couple of quick hitters. How popular are the Philadelphia Eagles? Well, Fanatics said the Eagles are Fanatics' best-selling champion across all sports. For the first 24 hours after a championship, they beat out the mark established by the Dodgers after their World Series win in October. So sales of Eagles gear, incredibly hot. And finally, the Jacksonville Jags, they signed team president Mark Lamping to a contract extension through the 2030 season. Mark Lamping has been with the team since 2012 when he was named president. He worked for years at Anheuser-Busch, the Cardinals, MetLife Stadium. He's been key to the Jags' business success in that market, and he is a key executive as the team begins a major stadium renovation. So while the team has made a lot of changes with coaching, they're still looking for a general manager. Mark Lamping offers real smart and sound stability for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so that is your morning Buzzcast for Wednesday, February 12th. I'm Abe Madcore. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy. Be good to each other. I'll speak to you tomorrow.